Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivan, aka Ivan Panda, and today I have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Jenny from Korea.
So for today's video, I'm just gonna ask random questions about my exchange experience, our exchange experience, and reveal the hard truth about being an exchange student. Don't forget to like, comment down below, click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get on with the video. Jenny from Korea, is being an exchange student like what the media and what the movies portray?
I think yes and no. So in terms of partying and everything, drinking, going to clubs, I think it's pretty much the same. It's people drinking, going crazy, and making memories that they would never have made when they're in their home countries, which is what I felt. But at the same time, there are a lot of conflicts and unexpected things happening during exchange.
Yeah.
So I think it's also kind of different from what the media portrays exchange as.
Yeah, I would definitely say that there is this common stereotype of exchange students, not following the rules, drinking and that kind of stuff. And I would say that's true to an extent. We have fun, we do crazy stuff, but to an extent where it doesn't harm other people and it doesn't affect our academic life. And definitely here in Singapore, there's definitely a lot of rules, but I would say it hasn't affected our exchange in a negative way. It's made us more cautious, and I think that's a positive. What's one of the craziest or most wild experience that you've had on exchange?
I guess the most wild experience that I had on exchange would be kissing 3 other boys, which would have been impossible in Korea for me, because I guess since Korea is a Confucius country, people aren't very favorable of having skinships with other people, and I guess that's why people are very cautious when they're dating as well. So I guess that's probably the most craziest thing.
Would you say being an exchange student in a different country has allowed you to, I guess, assimilate to a different culture and become a different person?
I guess it's part of a journey where I'm trying to find my true self. So I learn the qualities I have from watching others and trying to bond with others. So what surprised me was that I was more westernized than being Asian, I guess, in some point. So I guess it was all about finding myself rather than trying to be another self.
For me, I would say coming on exchange, I guess, has definitely taught me a lot about different cultures. But I guess for me personally, I didn't see myself becoming a totally different person. But I guess in a way, I did. Became more social, made a lot more friends and a lot more connections. And I felt like back in New Zealand, I guess I couldn't reach my full potential, and coming here on exchange allowed me to reach my potential and allowed me to see what I could be, or definitely what I was missing in my life. And creating so many friendships from around the world definitely has made me a better person, and I couldn't be more grateful.
That's sweet.
Now Jenny will ask me some questions and she will also answer them.
What's the biggest cultural difference between New Zealand and Singapore?
I would say there's definitely a lot compared to New Zealand. New Zealand is a very free, not really follow the rules. Here in Singapore, there's definitely a lot of rules. But I guess maybe the biggest cultural shock for me is the big snitching culture here in Singapore. So if you guys didn't know, if you do something that doesn't follow the rules or that's deemed as inappropriate, you can definitely expect people to knock on you and snitch on you. It hasn't happened to us personally, but we do know of people and seen people that have done it. And I guess it kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth, especially as an exchange student coming to Singapore. Makes you second guess yourself and want to follow the rules. And I guess it's good in a way to keep society safe, but then again it's also creating a sense of distrust, and as an exchange student you definitely don't want that. I definitely feel as an exchange student the tension between locals and non-locals. And I guess in a way it's affected our relationships to bond with them. Like me personally, I haven't made that many local friends other than the ones in my group projects. What would you say?
Probably say because, I don't know, because exchangers, it's normally pass and fail, and because the locals normally live in their own houses and commute to schools while exchangers normally stay in U-Town. That's probably why. Do you have any advice for upcoming exchangers?
As a general sort of advice, that's not Singapore specific, just be open to every sort of opportunity that comes your way, and definitely don't be that person that's shy or doesn't want to go out and meet new people. Here on exchange, I myself found it my priority to take those experiences as they come, and doing that has allowed me to meet so many people from around the world. If I hadn't done that, exchange would have been so lonely. I definitely did not want to feel that way. As an exchange student, you are already lonely. You are living by yourself in a different country, so definitely say be open to meeting new people and maintaining those relationships. So asking people out for lunch, asking people out to go do things, don't be afraid to do that, because as an exchange student, you're all in the same boat. How about you?
Most important thing is that you should be open to opportunities so that you can actually experience a lot. I think I could learn a lot from meeting new friends and trying to bond with them. Because they're from different cultures, they would have different values. Try to challenge yourself by trying to experience as much as possible.
What would you say being an exchange student has taught you or sort of made you learn about yourself?
I guess I'm a type of person who would have shallow but broader relationships. But through exchange, and by bonding with people from different countries, I learned the importance of bonding and getting to know each other more. So I guess I learned how to have deeper relationships. That meant a lot to me.
So obviously there's this common stereotype of exchange students drinking, going clubbing, doing all this crazy stuff. Can you name a time or talk about those kind of experiences and what they were like, and were they experiences that you experienced before?
So one thing that I remember from drinking cultures in Korea is that you would eat a lot while drinking. So you eat while you drink. But then here, I think there's a difference between Koreans and other exchangers, because normally we would not eat while drinking. We would eat beforehand, and drink after without eating anything. So I guess that was a big difference for me and what I found very interesting.
Oh. And would you say you had to uphold that Korean standard, or were you sort of open to not doing that to fit in or to assimilate to this kind of new drinking culture?
I guess I tried to fit myself in, and I didn't find any difficulties doing that. And I think it was actually okay.
For me, in terms of clubbing, I would definitely say it's better than New Zealand, and I would say for a lot of people on exchange, especially the ones that I've talked to, they say they have never been clubbing or go clubbing more often as an exchange student than back home. And drinking casually, I would say, me personally, I've never drunken a lot in my life, and coming on exchange I have, and honestly it's part of socializing, and I would say it's definitely a great way to get to know other people. Obviously, don't feel peer pressure to go drink. It's definitely up to you, your choice. I was thankful to have a group of people that were supportive and not always peer pressuring. Drinking was always a safe group activity that we could do to bond as friends and get to know each other more. Would you say being on exchange affected your relationships with your friends back home?
I would say that of course I've been focusing on relationships here, but at the same time I don't think I felt more distance from my friends back home, because COVID happened anyway and everyone was staying home doing their own thing, and we were zooming and stuff. So I guess in terms of maintaining relationship, it didn't really affect me that much. But But it was sad that everyone had to leave because of COVID.
I would say one of the biggest issues being an exchange student is sort of maintaining your friendships back home, but also creating new friendships. And I personally would say it's better to focus on your relationships here and not be too involved in the dramas of your friendships back home, because at the end of the day you will see them in 5 months or whatever months. Whereas here you only get a limited amount of time with these people and you may never see them for the rest of your life. So you either give it all or you end up missing your friends and family back home, and it means that you don't get the most out of your exchange experience.
I think real friends would be understanding.
Obviously, it doesn't mean cut contact with your friends back home. It just means your main priority should be maintaining and keeping those friendships that you have here, so you don't feel homesick and so you don't feel lonely, and therefore have the supportive network of friends that make you not feel homesick. What was your living situation like in terms of your flatmates? Did you have a good relationship with them? And who did you live with?
I lived with one other Korean, a girl from Norway, and an RA. And this was kind of distressing for me because...
Side note, an RA is a person that sort of acts as like an officer sort of role, so they enforce the rules that are at the university.
So I've never lived with an RA, and I was so shocked when I found out that my flatmate was an RA. So it was kind of hard because I couldn't have any friends over to my place, and I had to observe all the rules. So it was kind of hard for me to adjust my living style because it was so different from my other dorm life back in Korea. But I think it's part of being responsible and it's part of being in Singapore. So I've actually experienced Singapore culture by living with an RA. So I think I'm kind of satisfied with my living style.
Yeah, in contrast to Jenny, I didn't live with an RA. It's definitely one of the biggest fear and worst things to have on exchange, especially here in Singapore. I personally am glad that I didn't have to be in that situation, but I guess the Singapore thing may be different for other exchange students in different countries. So I lived with 3 other Australians, which I was so thankful for. I feel like here they put the exchange students in terms of continent and countries. So for me, coming from New Zealand, it wasn't much of a cultural difference or cultural shock to live with Australians, because Australia and New Zealand are very similar and we have this sibling sort of rivalry, which I think is pretty cool. This meant that I was able to create a special bond with them, and living with them would probably be one of the best things that's happened in my life, and that made my exchange experience so much better. Basically what it meant is that we shared everything. I think that's one of the things that a lot of exchange students don't experience, is that sort of flat living lifestyle. Before coming on exchange, I expected to live with people that were very individualistic, and I did not expect to have such a good bond with all my flatmates. It was also a blessing and also a curse because of the global pandemic, which meant that the Australians had to go home early, and it meant that I had to live in this 4-bedroom apartment by myself. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below, click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, check out the description for Jenny's channel, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye!